video here we can see Yosef Haddad is an Arab Israeli. There are people that are saying that Israel is an apartheid state. Well, again, double fake news. Yosef Haddad and his family is telling the history of his parents and his grandparents. And he was born in Israel, and he is someone that is an Arab, and he lives as more than 2 million Arabs that are living in Israel. And if you know or you didn't know, they have equal rights. Of course, there are some problems here and there. There's things that must be. There are more people. People always. There are people in both sides. In all places of the world, there are people that are more racist, less racist. But in general, they have all the rights as an Israeli citizen. They carry out identification card, Israeli identification card as a citizen of Israel. They have all the rights, social security, medicine security. There are even some of them that go to the army in the Israeli parliament. There are also members of the parliament of Israel. They are all Arabs, also Arabs. There are more, some of them are more, let's say, behave in a more cultural and with nice manners and very open-minded and that. And there are, of course, the more extremist ones, but they are also in the parliament. There is also a high-rank judge in the Supreme Court. There are judges, Arab judges in Israel. Me myself, I was in November to. There are many Arabs many Arab doctors in the hospitals. Israeli Arabs. They are Israelis. They are Israelis, but they are Arabs. So me myself, I went in November to a skin lymphoma specialist, a woman, a doctor, great doctor, and she treated me very nice, very polite, in an amazing way. The car that I'm driving now, that I bought second-hand, a great car, for me at least, I love it. I bought it a few years ago from a Muslim young Arab, which was a doctor in stage. Someone that is almost a doctor. Now he's completely a doctor, yes. But I bought a car from him. I bought a car from him, we went, after we arranged all the papers, we went back to his parents' house, and I ate with him lunch together when his mother was in the kitchen, and so I don't think that is an apartheid country. But let's hear this guy. Let's hear this guy, Yosef Haddad, which, as I said, he was also in the army. He fought for Israel. He was wounded very, very severe in the army. He was in the hospital. Then he did rehabilitation. And now he's a great person, and he speaks many things about the reality, about the Palestinians and the Arabs and the true facts. Let's hear him.
So 1947, the partition plan was brought by the UN. And what happened is that the Jews accepted the plan, the Arabs denied the plan. And by the way, watch this. It's not the Palestinians, it was the Arabs who denied the land. The partition plan. It was the Arab leaders who decided to reject the plan, which gives you just a little bit of understanding how even at that time did not even refer to the people in the land as Palestinians, but as Arabs and Jews. The Jews accepted the plan despite the fact that it was much more smaller and without any natural resources. And because of the rejection of the Arab leader, the war began. And they lost. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this, because I want to talk about my grandfather. My grandfather got an order to evacuate and get out of his village. Not by the Jews, by the Arab leaders from Syria and Lebanon. My grandfather rejected this request or demand back then. And he stayed and he said, I'm staying in my land. And when the IDF came, no one took his land. I'm speaking specifically about my grandfather. I'm not saying there weren't events like this. I'm just giving you my grandfather's story. And he said, I stayed in my village, which is Isjish. It's a village in the north of Israel. So he stayed there, and that's exactly how I become who I am today, which is an Arab Israeli. And you know what? I'm very glad about that.
Yeah, well, that's fascinating because you don't hear those stories very often. You only hear about the ones that were so apparently dispossessed. But to hear that actually some Arabs decided they wanted to stay and keep their land.
The majority of the Arabs who left the land of Israel were getting the orders to leave the land by Arab leaders, whether it's from Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, or Egypt. They're the ones who actually went on and just evacuated based on those orders. Again, saying that, we still have to understand that in a war, like in a war, there are terrible things that happens to both sides, and we should acknowledge that. By acknowledging that, we can actually move forward. That's my message, I guess.